own kind.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. Roll call. At-large Cummins.
Here.
At-large Costigan.
Here.
Ward 1 Welker.
Here.
Ward 2 Helm.
Here.
Ward 3 Johnston.
Here.
Okay, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Okay, motion by Cummins, seconded by Helm.
Cummins?
Yes.
Caution?
Yes.
Welker?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the communications portion. There's no scheduled communications, but if there's someone present who would like to address the council, now would be the time to do so. Yeah, go ahead. Will you just come up to the podium and just state your name and address, please, for the meeting records?
I am just curious about the house on Walnut Street that's going to be taken down and how the asbestos is going to be handled.
Oh, at 54 Walnut Street?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the one at 54 Walnut Street. Yeah. Well, it'll have to be taken down per state requirements. So it'll have to have asbestos abatement. Whoever takes it will have to go through the proper asbestos abatement process.
So it will have to go out to the given facility that they're supposed to go to.
It'll have to be disposed of.
I was just kind of
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
Thank you.
Can you tell us your name, please, for the
Pat Bingham.
say it one more time?
Bingham. Pat.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to address the council? No? Okay. All right, then we will move on to the proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Samantha. I'm the Sexual Assault Services Coordinator for Cedar County. Thank you so much for having us for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We could not do this work without the support of the community, local elected officials, law enforcement. So yeah, thank you again for having us. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, we can just go on into the proclamation.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Samantha before I read the proclamation? Nope. Okay. So this is the proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month for April of 2025. Whereas sexual abuse, sexual violence, and stalking affect anyone, including children, causing long-term physical, psychological, and emotional harm. And whereas every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. Whereas approximately 70% of people affected by rape or sexual assault experience moderate to severe distress, a larger percentage than for any other violent crime. Whereas sexual assault in rural communities exists as a hidden, silent, and often unrecognized crime that is often underreported, it's widespread and affects every community member. And whereas through the inspiration, courage, and resilience of people affected by sexual violence, our communities are learning to better respond to the life-threatening impact of sexual violence on individuals through systems and in the community. And whereas the Domestic Violence Intervention Program, and the Rape Victims Advocacy Program has worked to end violence and abuse for more than 45 years through the collaborative partnerships of staff, volunteers, local municipalities, criminal justice, health and human services, faith communities, business leaders, and private citizens. And whereas our community's achievements should be commended, and we must continue our commitment to respect and support those affected by sexual violence and to prevent future violence in our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the City of Tipton and Cedar County, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The City of Tipton and Cedar County, and with the City of Tipton and Cedar County, and urge all people to work together to eliminate sexual violence, sexual abuse, and stalking from our community. Signed this 7th day of April 2025.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just a calendar and some facts and stats. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. These are routine items that will be enacted by one motion without separate discussion unless a council member requests separate consideration. Approval of the council meeting minutes of March 24th, 2025. Approval of the investment and treasurer's report of February 2025. Approval of the liquor license renewal for the VFW. Approval of the liquor license for Lucky Wife wine slushies. This is for the kickoff to summer event. Approval of the community forestry grant. Approval of mulch for the playgrounds in the park. Approval, the changing the start date for roof replacement and change order for additional materials. That's for the library. And approval of the claims register, which include claims paid under the current purchase policy.
Second.
Okay, motion by Cummins, seconded by Poston.
Poston,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the public hearing. The first public hearing is year 25-26 budget. Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
Motion
George had it.
Motion by Poston, seconded by Welker.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
Poston.
Yes.
As of end of business today, we haven't had any communication regarding the public hearing. This is the final step in the budget process, would be to have this public hearing, and then the next step will be to approve the resolution that is further down in the packet. It's setting the rate that we've talked about, the 15.553. It has everything in there that we've talked about in the budget workshop. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the public? For those present? No? Okay. Yep, so we need a motion. to approve
Motion
the
to
budget.
approve.
Motion to
Did you
approve.
motion to close?
Yes.
Yes,
Motion to
second.
close.
Or close, sorry.
Yes. So motion by Poston, seconded by Cummins. To close.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
Poston.
Yes.
Okay. Next is a public hearing for the proposed sale of city-owned real estate. Motion to open.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Walker, seconded by Johnston.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins. Poston.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
This is the step that the council chose to add to this process. At the last meeting, the council selected 4 companies or potential property owners to work with on purchase agreements for the 4 demolition lots that were identified in our request for proposals. This was added in case there was any further input from the public as to the 4 that the council motioned to work with. Up to now, City Hall hasn't received any additional input since the last meeting.
Any questions or comments from the public? No? Okay. So motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Helm, seconded by Poston.
Helm,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
Poston.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to city. First item is resolution number 040725A, which is the resolution approving the city of Tipton fiscal year 25-26 annual budget.
This is the last step of the budget process, would be to approve the resolution. Included in the resolution is all the transfers that were included in the budget process that we've talked about. So
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Okay, motion by Poston, seconded by Walker.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Poston,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm.
Yes.
Okay, second item under city business is resolution number 040725B, is the resolution approving sale and transfer of city-owned real estate.
Yeah, this goes with the public hearing you just had, and if approved, the awardees or selectees that are in the resolution would then move to the next stage, which would be for the city attorney to work out purchase agreements. That would be the basis for making the sale to each of those 4.
Make a motion to approve them. Second.
Okay, motion by Poston, seconded by Johnston.
Cummins, Yes. Austin,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
All right. Next item under city business is discussion and possible action concerning city involvement in TEDCO's related stormwater management project, mainly focusing on TEDCO's detention basin.
Yes, this is a document for TEDCO to consider, but the reason why it's brought here is because the funding TEDCO would be working with are funds that would otherwise come to the city from the remainder of funds from the sale of 40 acres that TEDCO owned. With that sale, they settled a bank loan that they had. They still had a remaining loan to the city. This funding would in part repay their loan to the city. The rest of it would be paid for by the land that's remaining in the industrial park, which come to a little over 35 acres, with around 15 or 16 being along the frontage of Highway 38, and then the rest of it being from Commerce Boulevard to Old Muscatine Road. The plan here would be, before TEDCO transfers its remaining property, and that would include about a 2.5 acre detention area that they've kept. That detention area would be improved to where it functions as it ought to. It has filled in. There's some question about whether or not it releases water as it should at a slower rate than it collects. The idea that goes with this is there would be a storm tube basically at the northwest corner of the Bob Herring property, which is near where Mulberry Street intersects with South Street. This tube would continue on to the improved detention area. And then from the detention area, there would be another tube installed that would go to the culvert that crosses under Highway 38. The idea being that city water that crosses South Street would go into this tube, whereas right now it just goes into the ground and older tiles. It would go to the detention area along with any stormwater coming from south of the detention area, such as off the Cedar Poly area. It would go into the improved detention basin and then more slowly be let out to cross under the highway. But again, the city would be assisting with the oversight of the project, and the funds coming from that sale of property would be used by TEDCO to pay for these improvements. But it's one of those things where, as one of you said at the last meeting, it's the pay now or pay me later, because if we don't do it under TEDCO's ownership, we'd have to do it anyway under the city's ownership. And there are certain things that having it done by TEDCO that expedites the process more than if it was done under the city. So anyway, what we're looking for here is if the city would make a motion, for example, to support the plan that we have in mind, and then the next step would be to carry forward with TEDCO and this agreement that's before the council and TEDCO now. If there are any questions about the plan or about the agreement, we have Rick T, who is, Jack Pope retired from Garden and Associates, and now we're working with Rick. The cost of design in this is $25,500. The oversight is $14,500. So if there are any questions for Rick, please, he's available online. But otherwise, we're just looking to see if the council supports going forward with this plan. And, at the end of this design period, we hope to come up with a preliminary engineering estimate. And then I suppose there's another decision to be made about carrying on from there. That, when we find that out for TEDCO, we'll let the council know that. But for now, it's whether to endorse the project, at least through supporting this agreement, if, for TEDCO to undertake.
Make motion to carry. Move forward. I second it.
Okay. Motion by Helm, seconded by Poston.
Poston,
Yes.
Wilker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins.
Okay. Next item under city business is discussion and possible action concerning employee health insurance contributions. Brian Brennan's doing.
Health insurance renewal time. Fun topic.
Yeah,
We got a good committee for this, and the committee is made up of Brian and Melissa and myself and most of the department heads and several staff members. So probably at least 12 of us, I think. And it's a good committee. We meet several times, and there's a lot to sort through. There's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of feedback. And, the policy doesn't fit everybody the same. So there's a lot to talk about. There may be more needs with the kids. There may be more needs with the adults. It depends on age, all of that. But it's complicated. But the goal of the committee is to work the details out for you and bring you something simpler so that we can streamline this meeting tonight and get this renewed for another year. We currently have a complete blue 4000 POS. That's the policy. A couple of years ago, we had a PPO. We had a PPO for years. We switched to the POS because the PPO was getting to where it wasn't affordable anymore. And so we found some savings with that. Well, now we've ridden this, I'm unclear if it's been one or two, maybe it's been two. Yeah. So we've had this blue 4000 POS for 2 years. And so the consensus of the committee is it ain't broke, let's not fix it. So we're proposing to continue ahead with it. So if I could sidestep for a minute, we have a policy that is partial self-funded. Okay, let's take a look at that for a minute. The partial self-funded has been beat up a little bit the last 2 to 3 years. It's depleting slightly. And so it's kind of a two-parter here. We need to look at this as well. So a way to remedy or to shore up the partial self-funded is to change our deductibles a little bit and to change our out-of-pocket maximum a little bit. Now that comes out of the employee's pocket, right? Not the city budget, okay? And also, not necessarily the employee, but the user of the plan. Because you don't pay a deductible if you don't go, right? So current deductibles are $200, $400, and we would propose for those to go to $250 and $500. Okay? Out-of-pocket maximum currently $1,000 and $2,000, and with the new plan that'll go to $1,250 and $2,500, and that'll help us to shore up the partial self-funded. Okay. So back to the blue 4000 POS, it's going up. They don't ever go down. I've never seen them go down. Maybe we did when we switched a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. But 7.2%. We don't like that, but it's not earth shaking. Could be worse, right? I remember 2 years back to back in West Branch, 30%.
Yeah.
Next year, 30% again.
Actually pretty low increase.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be way
In
worse.
2 years. So at 7.2, that comes out to about $2,700 a month, $32K per year. That's the whole policy. It's okay. This amount is budgeted. That's good news. We've got it covered that way. Historically, we've come to you in the past with a proposal like this. How about the employees shoulder some of this increase? And how about the city shoulder some of this increase? 25/75 is what we proposed in the past. So you tend to like that. Past councils tend to like that. So we're going to pitch that again. That's actually option 2 on the synopsis. Mel wrote the synopsis. And So what would that look like? About $25 a month would be the employee's contribution at that 25%. Okay, and just as a side note or kind of an illustration, take a $24 an hour employee out of Public Works or wherever. This year was a 1.25% raise, right? And I think it's noteworthy that this 25% on this insurance would consume a little bit more than half of that increase, unfortunately. But that's life, right? Everybody in the committee is comfortable with this. We've communicated well with everybody in the staff. Everybody's willing to, likes the idea of moving forward with the 25/75, if you do. Now, there is the other option, option one. Maybe you're feeling generous tonight. Maybe in light of the 1.25% increase, maybe the city wants to fund the whole thing. And that would mean no change, no 25/75. Keep it like it is, and the city funds it. It's in the budget. We're not going to be upset either way. We'll be happy. So, in our discussions in the committee, we decided that nobody ever came to Tipton to get rich. But if you ask the employees, a lot of them will tell you we did come for the benefits. So they're appreciated, so thank you. And we'd like to keep this policy going. Not only is it a draw, but it helps retain staff too. So it's a good plan. And I'm unfortunately a frequent flyer here the last couple of years. So I guess any questions, and then we entertain a motion for one of those options, if you're willing.
I guess I don't have any, I don't have any questions. I talked to the department head this weekend about this, and he kind of reiterated what you said. You know, you come here for the benefits, and I know you guys didn't get the raise that you were hoping for. So I guess my opinion would be option one. I know you guys didn't get the raise, and I know what it's like trying to start a family, buy a new house. You come here for that. Come here for your benefits, and it's only $25 a month, but $25 is $25. And we do appreciate you guys. So I guess that being said,
Thanks for that.
if there's anybody else have anything to say?
I agree with you 100%. I'm in the same kind of spot.
Sorry, buddy, correct?
So I'll make a motion for option one then.
Okay, motion by Poston, seconded by Helm.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Thank you.
POS is a very unfortunate way to call for insurance.
What?
POS is a very
Yeah.
unfortunate name for the insurance. I'm just saying.
That's the truth.
I'm just saying it, I'm like, please.
Point of service.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you guys for putting that together.
Yeah, because nobody likes to do insurance, you're right.
So that concludes city business. So we'll move on to reports from department heads. Anybody have anything? No? It doesn't look like Radcliffe is here. So, are they? I don't know. Okay. Does anybody, Ryan, do you have updates about ambulance then?
Yeah, I do. As you're aware, at the last meeting, I asked if we could consider doing a special council meeting to look at the solar array project again. I gave several dates to the two companies we're looking at, and basically 3 dates came back. One of them Mike can't make, but the dates I was given were Wednesday, April 16th. That's the one that Mike can't make.
Wednesday?
Yeah,
It's a Wednesday.
isn't it?
I think it
I
was
thought
Wednesday.
17th is Wednesday, isn't it?
No, it's Thursday.
Oh, if it's Wednesday night, I can make that
I'm
one.
pretty sure.
I'll
Yeah,
be
it's
back
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, the 16th?
Yeah, I can make that.
Okay, then you have the 16th, 24th, and the 30th.
I can't do the 24th, Brian. There's an ECIA meeting that night.
16th.
The mayor's, county mayor's meeting is
Okay.
that night.
I cannot make the Wednesday night ones work.
Well, 16th and 30th are both Wednesdays.
I know, I can't make either of those work.
So either way, we're gonna be missing
So we're
something.
missing
Yeah,
something.
I miss somebody.
I can make any of them.
And myself as well.
Well, somebody had a preference, one of them had a preference of the 16th, right?
Thought one
Yeah,
of them did.
Custom had the
Custom.
16th as a preference.
Okay.
I guess my personal opinion would be the sooner,
I agree. Sooner the,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not,
because we got to get the ball going.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do it, we need to do it, yeah.
Agreed.
So go with the 16th. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we're gonna have a majority.
And if you want to make it earlier, I can be here at any time. I'm not working that Wednesday, so.
Does that make a difference for you?
Yeah, if we go earlier in the night, I can make it.
Okay.
How early is earlier?
We did 4:00, 4:30.
Noon?
I-
Noon? Lunch?
Yeah, why not?
You bring it?
No, I won't make.
Yeah, I have to be done, I have a prior commitment at 6 p.m., so we can move it up
Yeah, I can.
an hour or half an hour even, something like.
Yeah, this forward. What do you want to do?
Four
I can
works,
make 4
four works for me.
Yeah. I can make it work.
I can make that work too.
Okay.
Good. Well, we'll.
It won't take long.
Every hour we
I'm
just always happy, that's all.
So 4 o'clock to 16.
This is earlier. Yeah.
Bring some up.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, perfect. 4:16, 4 p.m.
yes. Brian, do you have an update on the ambulance? Since Brad's not here, or,
The blue one was picked up. It's been repaired, so it's back
Oh,
in service again. I don't know for sure about the yellow one.
I saw it in Subway this afternoon.
Clay might know.
oh, Clay's there. Sorry, Clay.
I can tell you a little bit about them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The one I picked up this afternoon needs a few little things put back together before it can be on a run, which should be tomorrow. And then we can take the yellow one and hopefully get its hills fixed tomorrow afternoon or the next day, and hopefully by the end of the week have at least two back up and running, but if everything goes right, we're golden.
For now.
Except the hiccups.
Yeah,
We don't have to deal with it.
and because of the snowy weather, the trip to Minnesota was,
Yeah, last week, we did not go to Minnesota because when it was raining hard here, it was snowing hard there. And Brad didn't indicate when we're trying that again. Because that is an option that definitely needs to be investigated, I think. That's what I know.
Thanks, Clay.
You bet.
Other department heads? Steve, do you want to mention the award? Yeah, like I can barely see you, but I can see your forehead. I know you're there.
Definitely hide from you.
I know, you're trying. Nice try though.
I think I may have mentioned it, but we did get that, and you guys approved it again tonight. The forestry grant for about $10,000, $25 short of $10,000. No grant, no match on it, of course. And that's the second one we've got in the last, I think, 6 months. So we'll take those. There'll be another one this fall, different funding source if the funding is still there. That will be anywhere from 10 to 30,000. And we've already got paperwork started on that. I don't know where I'm gonna have a hard time finding places for trees at some point, but I'm after it, so we'll see if we can get it. April 22nd. We're gonna meet at the UCC Church, 8:30. Anybody that would like to come and help, it takes about 2 hours. So it'll all be set up, poles drilled to start with, and they'll be enlarged by the planners. Then before that, I gotta add this, there's gonna be an all-school assembly for a DNR viewing of how to plant a tree. And there's some real good points in that. The grant people just love it when we bring kids into it like that, and I think that gives us quite a few points. So you're all welcome to attend. Coffee and rolls, by the way, if that means anything to anybody.
But they put you to work, so prepare yourself.
Questions? Okay.
Do you want to mention the Tree City USA Award?
Yeah.
Remember, you sent this to us?
That was last week, and we typically get that every year, if I do the paperwork in time. So, we actually started doing that in 2010. There was a couple of years there that we were swamped with a lot of stuff, and I thought, well, it didn't really make that much difference. We did all the stuff that you need to do to get the award, but we have officially gotten 12 awards now. 12. So, but Iowa City, on the other hand, started when they started, and they have 36 awards. So we're not going to catch them. But we're doing the right thing here. So thank you.
Thanks. Ryan, anything? Nothing? Darren? John? No? No? Okay, council members?
Mayor?
No, I have nothing.
Yeah, no.
I have nothing. No? Okay, then if there is nothing else, motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Poston, seconded by Walker.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins, Poston,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
I get some.